How to Join the Elite Part 30. Counter Slander with Action. So, to give all of you the backstory of this video, for a lot of you who are sub to me, I'm assuming a lot of you are aware of what is called the gender war. And the reason why a lot of individuals have jumped themselves into the gender war, which for the most part has been for valiant reasons, mainly to defend the image and reputation of certain men out there. Now, all men, ever since the 21st century, have been under attack from one degree or another. But when it comes to a particular group of men, certain men have received it worse or have received it for a longer duration. And now, it's not just mainstream society or people from other communities, or if you want to call them that. Heck, a lot of their communities are becoming communitized, by the way. So if there's any consolation prize in that, and we see what's happening there. But now the slander is coming from a certain group of men, so-called women. And no, these aren't all the women. As I said before, the ones who actually like their men, or at the very least respect their men, cooperate with their men, they aren't on the internet at the very least. And they definitely are not in the comment section trauma bonding, because that's what this is. A lot of this gender war stuff on both sides, I'm going to use that term, both sides again, it's just trauma bonding. But we have to look at it from the perspective of these so-called females going after these so-called females going after, so-called women I should say, going after men because of whatever happened to them, which is not to trivialize it, but nonetheless, I definitely empathize when it comes to the men wanting to defend their reputation, wanting to defend their image. But here's the problem that a lot of men are doing, particularly within online spaces, within YouTube, social media, etc. I see these guys, once again, playing reactionary games. And the reactionary games have been done for years on end to no avail. Now, there are guys that are doing it and they're getting money from it. Okay, I'm not going to stand in the way of you getting your money. Hulu has live sports. We all know the rest. But for individuals who legitimately want a solution, well, that's why you watch this channel. You don't watch this channel to see people go back and forth and play little gender wars, where in reality, these are the kind of people who should be bound chicka wow-wowing with each other, because nobody else who actually has sense of any gender would take said gal or guy who's in the midst of the gender war. Let's just keep it honest. A lot of the individuals who are in this gender war, they just don't want to admit it, but these are the individuals who need to get with each other and call it a day, right? Get with each other, get your mediocre lives, get your mediocre houses, get your 2.3 kids who probably be mediocre at best. Heck, divorce him or her if you must, and just call it a day. That's just a side rant. But for the rest of the individuals out there who really want solutions and watch this How to Join the Elite series, which is part 30, if I'm not mistaken. How do you defeat slander with action? Well, it's simple. First of all, you don't react. You don't react slander with your words, because that's the thing. They want you to respond with your words. And it doesn't matter if your words are factual, comes with stats, comes with even anecdotal evidence that would counter the slander of a lot of these females. Or better yet, they crave it when you go after them the same way they describe you, as an 8-ish ninja, as a baby kid, as a mediocre you know what. No, first of all, you don't even come at them like that. And if you do, you're just justifying their argument. That's not how you play any sort of tactic. That's not how you do war. War is not won by playing into the enemy's hands, because when they put up all these ad hominem attacks and put up all these examples of how you and I aren't crap, the way they win is is for you to react. And a lot of guys keep falling into that trap. And it's rather sad at this point. It is. So, how do you really counter this and in reality win the gender war? Well, first of all, you really don't play at all. I mean, you don't even bother at all. You watch from the side. You sneak into the stands. You sneak into the nosebleed sections or somewhere where you're inconspicuous to the point where you won't get pulled into the gender war. And at most, you observe. And you observe for strategic purposes to the point where you can either avoid this altogether or you can defeat this without shedding one ounce of blood, without firing one shot, without launching one kill streak or point streak or whatever you want to call it these days on Call of Duty. That's how you do it. And the way you really do it is be the opposite. Because if you really care that much, but you should actually, if you're listening to this channel, and if you're on your purpose, if you're on your grind, you should already epitomize the antithesis of what a lot of these women say when it comes to their slanderous accusations about you not taking care of your kids, about you not being able to hold down a job, about you not being loyal to women, for those who want to be in a relationship, or about you being reckless with your willy, about you just wanting to go overseas to trick, and about you going to the club every weekend to flex and floss. No. Don't fall into the trap. Be the antithesis of what these women claim. And you do that not by bringing up all these statistics, no matter how legitimate they are, but by being the example. The example of everything that these daggles claim that you are. Everything opposite of what these daggles claim that you are. And look, in my channel, I know a lot of people say, well, Xanatos, I know what you're going to say next, and you say, oh, that's why the daggle doesn't mess with you, that's why the sisterhood doesn't go after you, but in reality, it's because you only got 4,000 or 5,000 subs, and they ain't trying to mess with you, you ain't top dog, doll. No. I've seen guys who had half of my sub base, but they played right into the hands of the sisterhood of the Daggledom. And they, well, let's just say this, at best, they got caught up in the whirlpool and survived and are still fighting for whatever reason. And at worst, they got caught up in the crossfire. They got caught up in the crossfire. Now, if you want me to sing the entire song of that, I mean, you guys got to pay up. I mean, come on, guys. You got to pay it. Look, and that's the thing. You got other guys who, in the audience, they actually pay for this gender war stuff, which is half the reason why it keeps on going, because it actually pays the bills. Solutions don't pay. Drama does. Controversy does. Gender war stuff, men and women, mediocre men and mediocre women going after each other, that does. That pays. Solutions don't. Which is the reason why I don't expect a lot of people view this, which is sort of the reason why I feel more at liberty to say what I really want to say. And what I really want to say is this. A lot of you gender war individuals need to stop the cap and drop the hat. And by dropping the hat, I mean dropping this little war you all are doing, dropping this little front that you all are doing, and you need to just... yeah, you need to just scissor each other, right? Scissor each other, get it over with. All this a little sexual beef I see everyone doing because you're talking about, oh, she's average at best, or he's an average man making only 30K. Look, that's what you got. Fours complaining about 40K guys complaining about 49ers. No. Get with each other and do this. Do this. Stop with the sexual beef. Stop with the back and forth. You need to do this. You need to do this already. And honestly, I'll just say this. if I had it my way, before you all do this, before you all scissor me timbers, I pull the Bob Barker and get your pet spayed and neutered. All right, everyone else out there always bet on X.